Why is it that when you look at them, what rises inside you is no longer just liking or companionship? You worry about them. You organize your life around them. You check if they're safe before you leave. And after a long, exhausting day, they are the first presence you want to return to. Not because you decided to care, not because you calculated anything, but because the attachment formed almost on its own. Slowly, you realized something. This small, wordless life has taken up a very real, very central place in your emotional world. Why does it become increasingly clear that what you feel for them can no longer be explained by the word pet? When you imagine them getting sick, injured, or aging, your chest tightens instinctively. When someone casually says, "It's just an animal," something inside you recoils, not because you don't understand boundaries, but because you know, if one day they were gone, the loss would not be small. And why? Even knowing they will never grow up, never challenge you, never leave to build a separate life. Do you feel safer in this relationship? You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to be understood. You don't have to prove your worth. You simply exist, and they come closer. They rely on you. They need you. After years of navigating relationships that demanded constant adjustment, constant awareness, constant self-management, you begin to realize this kind of connection, one that does not require you to change, is the first place your body truly relaxes. If these feelings sound familiar, then today's conversation is not about being too dependent and not about emotional substitution. It's about a gentler, deeper question. Why do some people treat their pets like children? What unmet emotional needs does this bond quietly respond to? And why does this relationship so often become the most stable, safest, and least explainable connection in a person's life? Most people don't realize how different this relationship is in some dramatic moment. It happens in something painfully ordinary. Maybe you come home after a long day, close the door behind you, and they're already there. Maybe you're sitting on the couch, staring into nothing, and they quietly settle beside you. And suddenly, you notice something subtle. Your body loosens. Not happiness, not excitement, just the absence of tension. In many human relationships, we live in a constant state of self-monitoring. We track our tone, we manage our expressions. We ask ourselves silently, am I too much? Am I being inconvenient? Should I be more upbeat? Over time, connection itself becomes labor. But around them, there is nothing to maintain. You can be silent, you can be tired, you can offer nothing at all. Psychologically, safety is not defined by what the other does. It is defined by a single experience. You do not need to shrink yourself to be accepted. You don't place this relationship so high in your life because you've become dependent, but because your nervous system finally confirms something rare. Here, you don't need to stay guarded. And because that kind of safety is uncommon, your body remembers it. You may not realize how much you invest in them. You remember what they eat and when. You notice subtle changes in their energy. You adjust your routines. Sometimes your entire lifestyle shifts. And yet, this care doesn't drain you. In many human relationships, giving comes with invisible tension. We calculate, am I giving too much? Will this be taken for granted? If I stop, will I be replaced? These fears aren't selfish, they're learned. When someone repeatedly gives without being met with consistency or respect, the psyche builds protective limits around care itself. So people learn restraint, not because they lack love, but because love has become risky. With your pet, that risk disappears. Your care is not compared, not evaluated, not returned with demands. They don't reassess your worth when you're tired. They don't withdraw when you falter. Psychologically, this creates what we might call a safe environment for giving, where care stabilizes rather than depletes. You don't keep giving because you need to be needed. You give because here, love does not turn against you. That is not weakness. It is clarity. What exhausts people most in relationships is not conflict. It is uncertainty. Will affection fade? Will closeness retreat? Will today's warmth become tomorrow's distance? Living under that question keeps the nervous system on constant alert. With them, the experience is different. They don't grow distant. They don't emotionally disengage. They don't slowly remove you from their inner world. This stability isn't stagnation, it is predictability. Psychologically, relationships with low emotional volatility create a sense of safety that many people have never known. For those who have lived through inconsistent closeness, conditional intimacy, or sudden emotional withdrawal, this predictability isn't boring. It's precious. You're not afraid of change. You've just learned that many changes signal loss rather than growth. So you stay. You invest. Not because you reject the world, but because here, you are not bracing for collapse. This is not avoidance. It is choosing a form of connection that does not repeatedly wound you. People often think this bond exists because pets are cute or dependent, but cuteness fades. What holds you is something rarer: stable attachment. In many human relationships, attachment comes with vigilance. You monitor moods, you anticipate shifts, you prepare for withdrawal. The connection exists, but it's fragile. With them, attachment is immediate and continuous. You don't perform to earn closeness. You don't regulate yourself to preserve it. You don't fear that vulnerability will downgrade the bond. You're there. They are there. Psychologically, secure attachment is not intensity. It is reliability. When someone experiences, "No matter how I am today, this connection remains," the nervous system begins to rest. So you become more real, less defended, less edited. You're not being evaluated, you're being held. And without realizing it, this is why the bond rises to the level of child. Not because they are a child, but because this is the first time attachment is felt unquestionably safe. Society often explains this simply. You're avoiding the next life stage, but that ignores something fundamental. The instinct to care doesn't disappear. People who treat pets like children are rarely incapable of responsibility. They often possess deep caregiving capacity. They remember others, they worry, they show patience. But in human systems, these qualities are not always protected. Care becomes expected. Emotional labor goes unrecognized. Stability is not guaranteed. So caution develops. Not because love is gone, but because love needs safer ground. When you encounter a being that needs you clearly and responds consistently, that long unplaced energy finally finds a home. This isn't substitution, it's relocation. You're not filling a void. You're choosing a place where love won't be distorted or diminished. What you're saying is simple. I have love, but I no longer give it carelessly. That is maturity. What often goes unnoticed is that in this relationship, you are not the only one being cared for. You are too. The words you offer them, "You're okay," "I'm here," "You're safe," are often the words you once needed to hear yourself. Psychology calls this relational repair, new connections gently reworking old emotional patterns. When you soothe them, protect them, stay present in their vulnerability, you quietly prove something to yourself. I know how to treat a life with gentleness. This is not regression, it is deep growth. You didn't harden, you didn't bypass pain. You chose a form of healing that required no explanation. This is why dismissive comments sting. Others see an animal. You know this bond carries your understanding of safety, consistency, and care. You are not infantilizing a pet. You are redefining what connection deserves your heart, and that clarity reshapes how you love others and yourself. So if one day you naturally call them "my child," don't rush to correct yourself. It isn't confusion. It isn't excess. It means you found a relationship that doesn't demand contraction, performance, or vigilance. You care not because you're avoiding the world, but because you've learned love should not tighten your chest. Here, you don't need to be understood. You don't need approval. Your presence is enough. And that is what so many people search for their entire lives. You treat them like a child not because you lack something, but because you are finally wise enough to place love where it won't be wasted. Maybe one day this understanding returns to human relationships. Maybe it doesn't, but it leaves you with something permanent. You know what safe intimacy feels like. You know what love should cost and what it shouldn't. And that knowledge stays. If this episode made you feel even slightly understood, remember, you are not too much and you are not misplaced. You are simply someone who learned how to place love where it does not harm you. This is Felix. May you understand yourself more deeply and treat the growing version of you with kindness. See you next time.